So I'm gonna start an actual like thing, and I'm gonna start like a series of videos on an actual topic, because my past couple videos have all been really kind of rambly. So I'm gonna start a series, and this is gonna be called Books That Have Changed My Life, where I talk about books that have changed my life. It's really self-explanatory here. The first one is pretty unsurprising. You could probably have guessed it, but I'm gonna go with it anyway, and it is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Or Sorcerer's Stone, depending on where you live. Actually, I find it funny that everyone's always complaining about the fact that they changed it from Philosophers to Sorcerers over in the US, but in France, it is literally called Harry Potter and the Magic School. So, you know, that's kind of worse. I mean, they all involve a magic school. When I say this book changed my life, I mean the entire series and all the movies and the fandom, but this is the book I'm gonna put in there, and it's hardback and it's pretty. Anyway, so let's start getting all emotional over how this book has changed my life. Let's talk about that. Now, every time I say this, I feel like I'm just emphasizing how young I actually am, but I have never grown up in a world without Harry Potter, because I was born after Harry Potter became a thing. Yeah, I know. Even before I could read, I was watching the Harry Potter movies, and I remember one of my earliest memories is being really young, like still a baby, and lying on the floor pretending to be Hermione Granger after she was paralysed. Petrified. That's the word, petrified, not paralysed. Same thing though. So Harry Potter is the only book that I've cried not only at what happens in it, but also just because of its existence. Like the amount of times I've been listening to a Wizard Rock song or something and then started genuinely tearing up just because Harry Potter. Just because Harry Potter. See, Hermione Granger told me it was okay for a young girl growing up in primary school to be a bit nerdy and a bit bossy and being smarter than boys and not caring. Whereas Luna Lovegood told me it was okay to be a little bit weird and a little bit odd, and like just, it was mostly those two characters, but all the characters kind of just taught me stuff and basically shaped my personality growing up. And the fandom, okay, the Harry Potter community, everybody knows, is like extremely tight and extremely close-knit and extremely powerful, and guys, and the vast majority of my friendships are based off of Harry Potter, either because, you know, me and a person will happen to be at school together, and then I'll mention I like Harry Potter and they'll mention they like Harry Potter, and then we get like into a discussion about Harry Potter and we become friends like that. But I also have genuinely made friends like at Harry Potter conventions. Like, the link is very obvious here. If Harry Potter didn't exist, I can't even imagine what kind of person I would be, and I wouldn't have any of the same friends, I don't think. And also, one of my favourite things about Harry Potter fans is that they didn't just stop with what they got. They were like, okay, that's great, you've given us this idea, but we're going to take it even further. So now they have like ideas of what wizarding schools will be like all over the world, because J.K. Rowling only focused on European schools, and they have like Chinese and Japanese and South African, and it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite things. They also have Muggleborn headcanons, which are one of my favourite things, because, you know, Harry Potter was set in the 90s, so back then Muggleborns, I mean, they'd miss a bit of telly and stuff, but they probably wouldn't mind. Whereas nowadays, if you tried to take a teenager away from the internet and away from their mobile phones, it probably wouldn't happen. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you know, they probably would have found a way around it by this point. Personally, I like to think that the Room of Requirement has become a kind of Wi-Fi technology room where magic doesn't interfere, and all the Muggleborns get together and have little like Netflix sessions and stuff. I think that would be fun. This isn't really about how Harry Potter has affected my life. I just really like that idea. I feel like how Harry Potter has affected me is so large, I'm not even able to like pinpoint certain things it's done. It's just completely shaped my life. I'd say Harry Potter was kind of the main reason I first got into kind of being a nerd, for want of a better word. And it was kind of the first thing I got really super into. And then when Doctor Who came out in 2005, I was like, hey, I can be really super into stuff now because I'm super into Harry Potter, so I like Doctor Who. And then Doctor Who started getting bad. But then I moved on to something else. And then, like, Harry Potter, seriously, wow. This green-eyed, black-haired, skinny little boy just strolled into my life and changed it forever. And I can't thank him enough for it. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I'm not going to put this on a pedestal here. There are a lot of problems with the Harry Potter series, but I feel like in recognising them, it's more useful than if they weren't there at all. And I think that the problems with kind of lack of representation and stuff, the fandom has been like, okay then, we're just gonna put representation in there. Like the fact that J.K. Rowling really didn't tackle LGBT issues at all, but then the fandom was like, well, it's okay because we have like a billion fics where Remus is gay and Sirius is a non-binary pansexual or asexual if you like my Tumblr URL, because I'm aserious. Tumblr, cool. Anyway, what was I saying? I've seen posts about Muslim witches and autistic wizards and witches and wizards who had disabilities, and instead of getting magic to heal them, they just used it to aid them and stuff like that. And I just think it's so good and so useful to do that. Also, writing Harry Potter fanfiction is really what got me into writing, and now I write a lot and I love writing, and it's because one day when I was 13 I wrote about Scorpius and Rose. I think it was Scorpius and Rose. That hasn't changed. I wrote a song about them a couple days back. Scorpius and Rose are hanging out a lot. Scorpius and Rose, I guess evil dudes are hot. Scorpius and Rose are taking it slow. Scorpius and Rose, thank God my uncle doesn't know. That's also a thinly veiled plug for my Harry Potter EP. It's there. I've only in my life been to one Harry Potter convention, and I really want to go to more, but the one I went to, the sense of like community I felt there, especially there was one night when they sang that one about the thing. I should remember the name of that song, it's a really important song to me. But basically it went, "We're wizards, we'll party forever, this night will never end." And they sing that about 8 times and then the song ends. And the song ended and we all kept singing. There's a video that my friend took of it and she put it up on YouTube, and I genuinely tear up watching it because just like the hundreds of voices all singing "We're wizards, we'll party forever, this night will never end." Just the sense of community there, it was absolutely amazing, and I think that that was when I realised that Harry Potter was kind of my home. I genuinely would consider Harry, Ron, Hermione, Neville, Luna, Ginny, all of them as friends, as close friends, because I've grown up with them my entire childhood. I've known them longer than I've known some of my real friends, and they've helped me through like everything. And of course I know a lot about them because I've seen them grow up from little specky 11-year-olds up to proper grown-up people with kids and stuff. And like, what? I feel like that started out really articulate and then in the end it just went, and like, what? That's fine, Hannah, you can do that. Basically, without getting too overly emotional about that, actually I think that already has happened, but anyway, I think that Harry Potter should definitely be #1 on books that changed my life, because it changed my life the most. That was a good conclusion, wasn't it? I'm gonna go probably do history homework, probably cry a little bit about Harry Potter. I'll see you at some point later when I may make another video to do with this, or I may make some other type of video. I haven't planned planned this out very well. I'm gonna make more of these. I just don't know whether that's gonna be all I make or if I'm gonna make other ones as well. I'll see you whenever that happens then.